Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to give you a life update. It's been over a year since I've done Over the Road, and I haven't really updated anyone or done anything on YouTube, so I figured this would be a good chance to check in, kind of let you know what's been going on and see if anyone has questions. I'll try to get more into doing videos, especially when I'm home. I keep forgetting to bring my GoPro. I do apologize ahead of time if you do hear some vibrations. That is my reefer unit that is going off right now. And then you might hear some noises like there. I'm sure you heard something. I'm currently getting my truck loaded. So I started off with the company Classic Carriers. They've been fantastic. Still there. Still happy with them. And so initially I went down to Ohio for orientation. Did that. Went home pretty quickly. And then came back out. I did 4 days of training. It was all local runs. It was nice too. It was in a 10-speed manual, which is what I learned on in trucking school. Then after that, they put me into training doing Over the Road, and that one was a total of 7 weeks. Because of that first week of being local, that counted towards my time. So I met my Over the Road trainer. So this would have been on the 5th day of training. So the first 4 was doing local runs, training that way. 5th day I met my trainer, and the first thing we did was go from Ohio to California, which I thought was incredible. So yeah, I thought maybe, hey, he's going to drive a little bit, go over things. Nope, threw me straight to the gauntlet. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, obviously he was, watching, making sure everything was fine. And after a couple hours, hey, I'm going to go to sleep. Let me know if you have any questions, etc., etc. So we did a lot of runs, going to California from Pennsylvania. Our terminals in Ohio, so basically picked up the load in Pennsylvania, drove to the terminal, and then I hopped in the truck with him, went driving. I will say this: when you are training, be super patient and obviously pay attention. It's difficult living with someone you don't know, especially for weeks at a time. For me, I didn't go home once I hit Over the Road training, or once I hit training, I should say, for 6 weeks. So 6 weeks I was in the truck with this guy, and it gets a little frustrating. So plus being gone for so long, but it's good practice. So went home, and at that point it was kind of towards the end of my training. Like I said, it was 8 weeks total. So my company flew me out to Ohio so that way I could leave my car at home, and then when the training was done, I can get the truck, take that truck on a load, heading towards the house. And so another 2 weeks go by, we go back to Ohio. The driver had to go home, so we finished the training. I did a test with the company on site there, and around the area, just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, I'm being safe, all of that stuff. And I finally got my truck and started going on my own. And from there, I've really gone all over the place. Gone as far northeast as New York, kind of near the Massachusetts Vermont border there. Have gone all the way down to southern Florida, to Miami, Tampa. Gone to Texas a few times. I always love those trips. Gone to Arizona. So, I've been kind of all over the place, even after training. So it's been a great experience. It's a lot to take in. I will say that there's a lot more to the job than what appears on paper. And the driving can be fun, but there are certain situations, me personally, I hate going to Pennsylvania and northeast of Pennsylvania. I like going down to Florida, the only problem with Florida is there's almost never parking at the truck stops there. So you got to plan ahead of that. I like going down to Texas. I have family down in Texas, so sometimes when I go deliver there, I'll stay with my family. If I don't end up staying with my family around the DFW area, it is difficult to find parking. So that's one thing that I keep in mind. One little trick, so sometimes it can be difficult to find parking at night, more so than anything. And if you're in an area, for instance, like Oklahoma, or even some places in like Indiana, check out casinos. Even if you don't gamble, call a casino, see if they have truck parking. Usually there's a good chance that they do have truck parking unless it's located in a city. And then you could always park there. So that's one thing I like to do when I'm driving to Texas or I'm driving out west. When I went out to Arizona, stop at a casino in Oklahoma, stop at a casino in New Mexico. So that way I can find parking along the way and not really have to worry about it. And it's always nice not having to worry about parking, because there are times where you're asking yourself, where am I going to park tonight? Sometimes you're just getting off the highway, checking if there's parking there. You do see people parking on the streets, on the entrance ramp, exit ramps. Be careful. Some places you will get tickets if you do park on those ramps. Other places don't care, but it's not worth the risk. There's been times I've been driving past, whether it's a rest area or there's a truck stop, and people are parked on the entrance ramps, exit ramps, and I'll see DOT over there, and they'll be handing out tickets. The other thing, DOT. So I've gotten stopped for an inspection in North Carolina, near Asheville. So funny enough, my college roommate lived in Asheville at the time, so I decided, hey, you know what, I got some extra time, I'm going to take a different route, and then I can stop in Asheville, hang out for the day, and then deliver my load tomorrow. And there's a multi-stop load, and I kind of got jinxed. So what happened was, my friend picked me up from the truck stop, we hung out, and after he was dropping me off, I'm double checking to see if the way station's closed, and I see, oh, way station's closed, beautiful. So he asked me about the way station and what it does. And for those who don't know, you'll get a pre-pass. So let me show you here. So you have and it'll flash either flash then pull into the station unless otherwise noted. So like places like Florida, Georgia, they'll specifically have lit up signs that'll say truck bypass way station or truck enter way station. Follow those. If you don't get a green light or a red light, pull into the way station as long as it's open. Don't risk it. And obviously green light, feel free to bypass. Red light, definitely pull in. What they do is then a lot of times they have it's like a way as you go. So as you drive over, there's some weights or scales there that will kind of get an estimate of what your weight is on your steering tires, your drive tires, and your trailer tires. And depending on what it weighs in, they might say, hey, pull in. Otherwise, if it doesn't say to pull in, then it'll say bypass, and then you can basically just hop on the highway. So for me, I'm in Nashville, heading towards my load, and it was closed when I passed it, probably 15 minutes before, because it was about 5 minutes away, plus doing pre-trip. So I thought everything was great, and I pull in there, it's the way station open. I'm like, okay, get the red light, pull in, no big deal. Then I get the light pointing to the scale, to hop towards the scale, and I see a North Carolina trooper pulls up right beside me, and he starts going like this, like pull to the side, pull to the side. I'm like, oh, great, fantastic. And sure enough, they gave me a level 1 inspection if you're not aware, level 1 is the most thorough inspection that they do. So they'll get underneath the truck, they'll check everything out. So they did that. I passed the inspection, and my company pays a bonus for passing the inspection. So that's all I could really ask for. So, hey, $300, you know, good thing I did my pre-trip, make sure everything was good. Can't complain there. I had another situation. I got lucky. I was in Arkansas, and if you're not aware, the state police and DOT are very strict in Arkansas. So I had a pickup. The weigh station was 6 miles away, and the closest CAT scale was 9 miles away. And I go to slide my tandems, and basically what it's doing is you're sliding the trailer tires either forward or back, and that way it adjusts the weight of primarily your drive tires and your trailer tires, and then it does adjust with the steering as well. And then there's also adjusting the fifth wheel. I'm not going to get into that. If you do have questions about that, I can definitely answer that for you. So went ahead and said, okay, you know, I think I'll be fine. And sure enough, passing the weigh station, I get a red light. I'm like, great. Pull in, asked me to hop on the scale, and I knew I was heavy. I mean, I couldn't even get. There's a gauge. Let me show you here. That kind of how you're low, you know, how heavy you are. So you typically want to be around 60, and obviously it'll depend on different factors. You know, how heavy you are, if you're not loaded, and you might have just seen it go up a little bit. And then I have a digital readout, which is fantastic. And the reason it's going up and down, they're loading the truck right now. So you can hear that. That's the forklift that just hopped off. So this digital scale is awesome, especially when you pull up to. You can always go ahead and kind of get an idea. Hey, you know, I'm on a CAT scale. This is what the current PSI is. And then if I need to adjust the tandems, I can kind of get an idea. Okay, you know, this is where I need to move it. Anyways, so they pull me into the weigh station. Tell me, you know, they make me get, you know, obviously I got to get all my paperwork, head to the truck. I already know what's going on. I'm overweight.